absolutely the best characters on Adult Swim is Rick and Morty. The majority of the fan favorites from the show's 6 seasons have been brought back, with the most recent season adding some fresh storylines that received positive reviews. What can Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon do to stir things up again the following year? After all, aside from the exceptional anomaly that was Season 5, the creators of Rick and Morty have essentially always hit the mark. However, the addition of more canonical and linear storytelling as well as the presence of a clear villain increases the likelihood of errors. Since Season 6 was such a success, it is even more important to accept that something could go wrong when experimenting. What advice should the Season 7 showrunners and new writers heed in order to keep the newer plot while still making the show feel familiar and fresh? The same old thing. Rick and Morty is not in a rush to wrap up its larger overarching plot involving Rick Prime and its foul-mouthed protagonist's quest for vengeance. Unlike many other shows that reach a creative crossroads of sorts, the mere fact that a primary antagonist was formally introduced in Season 6 should not be taken as a guarantee that, going forward, the show will focus on that plotline every single week. For that matter, it may not even necessarily approach it with great rigor. Rick Sanchez may be the person who knows this the best. In contrast to Marvel's plans for Kang the Conqueror, the Season 6 finale made it abundantly clear that Rick Prime is a unique kind of challenge even though he is a man on a mission. Rick Prime, as he says, is everywhere at once. Because of this, many of his events do not have to occur in order, and any partial victories can be undone. That doesn't necessarily imply that 5 human years from now, the two will be pursuing Rick Prime. Given that it is not what Roiland and Harmon have been doing thus far, that option actually seems unlikely. Numerous detours are planned. As a sitcom, Rick and Morty still has the ability to run fantastic thematic episodes, like the Christmas-themed season finale, which helped the show's audience grow to love it. Despite now also dealing with a larger story, the series still continues to embrace that style the most. Despite its evolution, Season 6 of Rick and Morty is still a collection of random adventures with a wide variety of themes. There is room for the characters to develop beyond their original roles in Rick and Morty, but as Rick points out, not every episode needs to contain a major personal revelation. Some entries are just for fun, nothing more. In the case of Rick and Morty, more of the same refers to developing new strategies for using the portal gun, coming up with bizarre new intergalactic characters, and adhering to the show's core values of unceasingly lampooning modern culture. It also entails figuring out how to use that formula to tell Rick Prime's story. Its creators knew the villain would simply have to fit into that mold rather than the other way around at this point, so fans shouldn't have any reason to doubt them. Other genres and more spotlighted characters. It goes without saying that Rick and Morty's humor and origin are largely influenced by sci-fi conventions. With the debut of a Halloween-themed entry, the show demonstrated its ability to experiment with unfamiliar tropes. Rick and Morty thrive on novelty, and the series' incessant collisions with other aspects of popular culture always result in comedic science fiction. Every season, the show might start a new tradition by featuring a different thriller in a special episode. In the end, this is just another way to maintain the ongoing novelty that Rick and Morty has possessed since the beginning. As Season 6 demonstrated, Rick and Morty can undergo a major change without having a significant long-term impact on its multiverse mechanics. It could be argued that the show went through a similar process when it began giving characters like Summer and now Jerry a larger role in the series with their own episodes focused on a specific type of humor only they can exploit. The Smith family has grown to the point where any character can now carry an entire episode by themselves. Another way to experiment and deflect attention from Rick and Morty's primary goal is to keep writing lengthy scripts for each of them. As if that weren't enough, some fans would like to see more of the beloved minor characters from Rick and Morty. Consider Mr. Nimbus and Birdperson's entire narrative arc as illustrations of how much the supporting cast has to offer. In any case, the enormous popularity of High on Life shows that audiences are eager for more of the brand of humor the show is known for. Since Season 6 only adds linearity and Rick has additional themes the show can address, Rick and Morty is the epitome of the phrase "if it ain't broke, don't fix it." It's difficult to pinpoint the exact reasons why Rick and Morty fans were so let down by Season 5, but if the previous formula had become stale, this most recent one was distinctive enough to act as a model for Season 7 without the danger of rehashing the same material. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and support my channel.